Thank you for giving us some of your time today to review our Troinet Security and HIPAA Compliance BA Vendor Partner Program. So we're really excited about the opportunity to work together. So let me tell you a little bit about Troinet. Troinet is a managed services provider that provides services to covered entities in the New Jersey and New York market. So we put together what we think is a unique opportunity to engage covered entities, because what we do a little differently than some of the folks in our space is that we really care about the practice when we work with them. I mean, we really sit down with them from a very specific and consulting perspective. We like to call ourselves sort of business technology managers that manage the technology behind the space and help the covered entity, or any business for that matter that we work with, really realize the goals within their business. So some of these folks want to retire. We help them and teach them and show a way to do that, or path to that if that's something they want to do. If they want to make more money, we bring in solutions to help them drive more revenue, see more patients. And we also, if they say, I want to expand the business, I'm really looking to grow it, I want multiple locations, and I want to bring in other folks, we act in what we call a virtual CIO capacity to help them do exactly that and make really good, solid, smart technology decisions. So the one area which applies here that we need some help with is to find partners who are sensitive to compliance and security, who can come in with us when we need the help and help us grow those businesses. So, because sometimes when we get it on the ground, we find out that there's issues with respect to the partners that the covered entity has in place, whether it was with respect to compliance or security or just the services themselves. So what we're trying to do is find folks that can partner with us when we have a need around a host of the scenarios within the business. An example might be medical billing, medical collections, EMR, EHR, patient portals, all of those types of things. Obviously collections is a big deal because we've got some great relationships there right now. But whatever the needs are for that practice that we need to help them support, this is the reason why we're reaching out today and trying to find a way to partner with some of the partners in the space that help us help the client or help the covered entity reach the goals that they want to reach. So let me jump in real quick. So what I want to cover today really quickly is our go-to-market strategy. We've got a very unique approach to marketing, which I'll show a little bit of that today, and we'd like to talk to you about how we're going about doing that, because as we sign up more covered entities, we want to have partners that we can go in with and say, hey, we've just signed up a new client and they have the following need and we think you can help them. They're not happy with the vendor they have in place today or the vendor partner in place, and we think you can come in and help them achieve some of the goals they're trying to achieve that's not being done by that partner. Then, of course, we have a very unique approach to compliance and security, which I want to also cover because that's a big part of the business, as you probably know. Then our approach to vendor management. As being an MSP, we have a very unique approach to managing vendors. Whether it's a covered entity or any other industry, we completely manage and support the vendors and the process for supporting them as well. So we own that part of the relationship, because that's how we reduce their cost for the IT spend, is by managing those vendors in a way that a lot of the folks haven't had that experience with. Then, of course, the partnership relationship with you. If there's an opportunity for us to engage and we think we fit well together, we have a very structured way we partner. We don't have we believe in documentation with respect to partnerships and having a cadence call that makes sense and making sure we're aligned with respect to how we go to market and how we might partner together to help grow our respective businesses. So let's get into the marketing strategy. Our whole entire marketing strategy is built around a concept called TOMA, top of mind awareness. So that means everything we're doing is designed to keep our name and our brand in front of the covered entity. So we've got to go to every place that they are. So that starts with, and not necessarily in this order, is direct marketing. So we have a business development rep, or sales development rep as they're called today, that is on the phone every single day engaging the marketplace. So in the New York and New Jersey market for us, there's well over 2,500 covered entities and another 1,500 plus business associates that we're engaging with every single day. So we use social media from a LinkedIn perspective to engage them. We're doing webinars every 60 days around compliance and security and a number of other topics respectively related to the covered entity space. We're also doing a quarterly lunch and learn, which is one of the areas where I think if it makes sense for us to partner, where we could leverage. We've got one going on right now with a very large company that does medical billing, that prints the bills themselves on behalf of the covered entities and provides collections. So with one of those events, We're bringing in about 30 covered entities, and we're a joint sponsorship with a couple other partners. One is a security vendor, and we're bringing them in for a tour of this facility to see how this could be done for them, a way to increase their collection numbers significantly if that's something they're interested in doing. And then we're going to take them through a compliance and security and ransomware training as well, or educational, if you will, and then drive whatever opportunities that come from that. We also do drop-ins every 3 weeks. We have a team on the ground that goes in, and we do that sometime to help build webinars and build lunch and learn participation as well. But we also go in sometimes just to stop in and say, hi, here's what's going on with us, and if you have any needs around these particular things. One of the examples is we've just launched a new, a compliancy insurance program, or I guess a cybersecurity insurance program, where we have a $0 deductible, and it's $250,000 with no underwriting. That's one of our new programs right now we're putting in place for a lot of the small businesses who have no insurance coverage or can't meet the expectations requirements for some of the others, or it's expensive for some of these other folks. And this is less than $100 a month for them to have this coverage. Now, association is a big deal. So this is a huge landscape, as you probably know already. So we picked out about 5 or 10 key association events that are local. We're finding that some of our practices have formed very small or large associations, relationships that they have today. But again, we want to go and be at those meetings, speak at those meetings, engage the covered entities during the association events that they attend, and partner with them respectively. So if they need any help, we can go in there and engage them respectively if they need support. But again, that goes back to our opportunity to work with you as a BA vendor yourself. Part of what we've done with some of those relationships that we brought in so far is, what associations are you going to today that we can support, or you give us some direction on which ones make the most sense? Because there's a lot of them out there, as you all know, but the point of it is to be where every single covered entity might be, and also trade show events that they attend. Go to those, try to get a booth, get a speaking spot if we can. So when going back to that top of mind awareness approach, I want them to see us every place that they are and network with them appropriately. So if I get someone onto a webinar, get someone at a lunch and learn event, a LinkedIn invite, a call, an email, association touch, stop by the office and say hi, all those things helps us drive the go-to-marketing strategy, which is, as I stated earlier, based on the TOMA approach, top of mind awareness. So the reason this is important to you is we want you to come on board and partner with us for some of this. But as we start to bring on new business, we want solid, vendor partner relationships who believe in the compliance requirements and support that and execute that themselves, and believes in all the security requirements that have to be met, and obviously have some alignment with us around how to go about doing that. So that's important to us. So that's why we're looking for a few partners that can grow with us and partner with us at the same time as we're building these covered entities businesses as they've asked us to do. So compliance and security. So this is a big deal for us, how we go about doing that. So we've got a very unique, and I don't even say unique because I'm sure most of the security folks in our space can do this, but we built our own infrastructure security bundle that makes them compliance, deals with all of the issues that they have to deal with around this topic. We also have what we call as the compliancy coach. So those 6 audits you're supposed to do every year, we make sure you do them. We have a software application that we manage all the documentation that's required. If you were to get audited, we will sit on not only will we respond to the audit in writing, we will sit on the audit with you. And since we do a lot of this, we're usually participating in at least 3 to 4 audits every single month. So we've been doing this now from the compliance perspective for quite a while, and we've never failed an audit. So anyone who has any risk around this piece and feel uncomfortable with that, every single one of our covered entities, and we do this for some of our BA vendor partners who needed help with around compliance as well. But this is a big deal. But the whole big picture around this point here is just make sure that we provide peace of mind around this. This is not that tough to do if you do it right and you have a process and you stay on top of it. And that's what we do here. So if you need compliance support as a covered entity, we're going to take care of this, and we take this entire responsibility off their plate and give the practice manager and the doctors peace of mind that this is being taken care of properly. Now, as a managed services provider, we talked about, we're big on vendor management. It's what we do. There's no vendor that contacts the network without going through us. That's how we manage vendors, to make sure that we own the entire environment. We don't believe in pointing fingers. So as it relates to the covered entities, though, we'll make sure that all of the vendors have BA agreements with them and they're updated, and we're managing that properly. And again, going back to why we're talking to you, is if we have a vendor that's not meeting that expectation around compliancy and won't let us help them, and we need to replace them with someone, our intention is to find partners like yourself that we can bring in and introduce to the relationship, have you come in, sit down with the practice, and take on that business. Because we cannot allow them to have any issues with this, because this relates right back to us. So we have to handle it. So we manage and we support and we train all of the vendors that support our covered entities today. So the last piece here is how we work with you. So we're big on, you've probably had partnerships before. We don't believe in having partnerships just for the sake of having a partnership. So we have actually a joint venture agreement. We set up a weekly or bi-monthly cadence call, or how often we need to talk. So we'll look at what we're doing from a marketing perspective and see if there's any alignment there. We've got some situations where we're working with sales teams from other partners along with our own sales team. So we have cases where they brought us into engagements. We bring them into engagements. We do them together in some cases. So it just depends on the engagement. But the whole point of this is to have a solid partnership that has revenue share in it. That's important to us too. So we work off of a commission structure with you with respect to anyone we go in together on. Or in some cases, we've had a couple engagements where we didn't do any revenue share because it didn't make sense yet. So let's see what we have first. But the bottom line is, it's important to us that we document it, we create a marketing relationship, we see what the strategic alignment is with respect to a relationship, and then we find a way to go to market together, assuming we have a like approach to how to support covered entities and make sure there's a solid reason to partner. So I appreciate some time you've given me today, and if this is something you'd like to have a chat with, by all means reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you and give you a little bit of detail of what we're doing today, what part of the market you might fit in, and see if there's an opportunity to engage with you, because we love to start referring business to you and establish a partnership relationship. Thank you very much.